what is special now about the biologics CMC? I mean, as you know, biologics at a time were new. Now they are also quite established. But all the regulations and the notions around CMC pre-existed the biologics. And when biologics came up, there was a question, okay, how can we deal with them? And the problem is that the biological products have a much higher complexity than the small molecules. So, you know, small molecules, you talk about drugs that have like a molecular weight of 500 or so. And with biologicals process, we have a size of molecules that are just huge. So insulin is like 5,000 molecular weight, but then antibodies are much larger. So you get into kind of complexity that is a challenge to manage and cannot be managed at that level of detail that you were used to in the small molecules. In addition, because of the size of these molecules, you have dimensions like 3D and 4D, so folding and then aggregation of of the same molecule. So you have confirmation elements that are essential for safety and efficacy, and they are relatively easy to influence, so they are sensitive to changes, but they are hard to control. There's no easy methods to see that. Also, and that is caused by the systems that you use to produce these biologics, they can represent a mix of many different but closely related molecular species. So take a protein, and in the side chains of the amino acids, you might have modifications, and you might have modifications to a certain percentage, but then in one end you have the modifications at one amino acid side chain, in the other molecule on another one. And there's different modifications that can combine. So at the end, you don't have this notion of one defined molecule. You rather have the notion of, you know, a cloud of different but closely related molecular species that all count at the end as being one drug. And of course, you can imagine this is a totally different challenge than having a small molecule where you can define and track the different molecular species, if any. So as a result, the full description and full definition by the analytical methods only is difficult. And a specific and controlled manufacturing process is considered essential and is considered part of the product. At the beginning, there was this mantra that the process is the product in biologics, but then as analytical tools developed and were refined, today it's rather the notion that it is part of the product. The process is part of the product. And therefore, what we will discuss later, process changes are really challenging to manage, to describe.